Vietnam. A country once torn apart by war, now a magnet for travelers from around the world. From the haunting echoes of history to the serene beaches of Da Nang, from the chaotic hum of Saigon's streets to the silent peace of its ancient temples, Vietnam's story is nothing short of extraordinary. This is how a land once scarred by conflict transformed into one of the world's most beloved travel destinations. The Vietnam War, or as the Vietnamese call it, the American War, lasted from 1955 to 1975. For 2 decades, Vietnam became a global symbol of chaos, courage, and tragedy. Cities were bombed, families were torn apart, and when Saigon fell in 1975, the world saw an image of defeat, destruction, and despair. But what the world didn't see was the spirit of the Vietnamese people. Even in the ashes of war, they refused to give up. They rebuilt, brick by brick, rice field by rice field, life by life. In the years after the war, Vietnam faced immense challenges. Its economy was shattered. Its infrastructure was in ruins. But then came a turning point. In 1986, the government launched a series of reforms known as Doi Moi, meaning renovation. This bold move opened the country to global trade, foreign investment, and tourism. Slowly but surely, Vietnam began to heal, not just physically, but emotionally. New roads were built, hotels started to rise, and word began to spread that Vietnam was opening its doors to the world. By the 1990s, backpackers from Europe and Australia were among the first to arrive, curious, adventurous, and hungry for something real. They found a country untouched by mass tourism, a place where every alley told a story. Every smile carried history. They stayed in family-run hostels, ate steaming bowls of pho on plastic stools, and told their friends back home, "You have to see Vietnam." Word spread like wildfire. It didn't take long for travelers to realize Vietnam isn't just rich in history, it's breathtakingly beautiful. There's Ha Long Bay, a surreal dreamscape of limestone islands rising from emerald waters. Sapa, where the mountains wear terraces like jewelry, changing colors with the seasons. Hoi An, a town frozen in time, glowing with paper lanterns and river reflections. And the Mekong Delta, where life flows gently on the river's surface. Nature gave Vietnam everything, and its people learned to live in harmony with it. But what truly makes Vietnam special isn't just the views. It's the people. They've seen war. They've seen loss. But they've also seen rebirth. There's resilience in their laughter, pride in their traditions, and warmth in every bowl of pho they serve you. Travelers don't just visit Vietnam. They connect with it, because every local you meet has a story, one that often starts in pain and ends in hope. Today, Vietnam is one of Asia's fastest-growing economies. It's home to world-class resorts, buzzing nightlife, and a generation looking firmly toward the future. Luxury travelers flock to Phu Quoc Island. Digital nomads sip coffee in Da Nang. Food lovers chase street-side banh mi in Saigon. And through it all, Vietnam manages to stay authentic, modern yet rooted, vibrant yet humble. A perfect balance between the old and the new. Tourism didn't just bring money, it brought understanding. Americans, once soldiers, now return as travelers, sometimes even as friends. They walk the same jungles, visit the same villages, but this time with open hearts. The country that once symbolized division now stands for healing and unity. It's a living testament that even the deepest wounds can heal, and that peace isn't just possible, it's powerful. As Vietnam looks toward the future, it's not slowing down. Ecotourism, sustainable travel, cultural preservation. These are the new frontiers. The goal isn't just to attract tourists, but to protect what makes Vietnam truly magical. Because Vietnam's beauty lies not only in its places, but in its purpose. A purpose shaped by pain, perseverance, and pride. But beyond the landscapes and flavors lies Vietnam's greatest treasure, its people. Warm, humble, hard-working, and proud. They've lived through history's darkest storms and emerged with open hearts. Their resilience is quiet yet powerful. Their hospitality unmatched. A traveler in Vietnam is never a stranger. You're a guest, a friend, a story waiting to be shared over a bowl of noodles or a cup of tea. And maybe that's why people keep coming back. Because when you leave Vietnam, you don't just take memories. You leave a piece of your heart behind.
For decades, the name Vietnam brought to mind only one thing: war. A war that scarred not just the land, but generations of hearts. But time has a way of softening even the hardest memories. And for Vietnam, that healing came not through silence, but through connection. Tourism became more than an industry. It became therapy. A bridge between past and present, between nations once divided. American veterans who once fought here began to return, not as soldiers, but as travelers. Some came seeking closure, others came seeking forgiveness. Many found something unexpected: peace. They stood on the same soil where they once carried rifles. They walked through villages that had rebuilt from ashes. And in the faces of the people, they saw not hatred, but warmth. One veteran said, "I came to say sorry, and they thanked me for coming." That's Vietnam, a country that has every reason to remember, but chooses instead to forgive. For locals, tourism was never just business. It was a chance to share their story and reclaim it. A way to show the world that Vietnam is not defined by war, but by its humanity. When travelers visit the Cu Chi Tunnels or the War Remnants Museum, they don't just learn about history. They feel it. They see how pain was turned into purpose, how memory became a message of peace. Through these encounters, generations began to connect. The old teaching the young, the past meeting the present. And what emerged wasn't just tourism. It was reconciliation in motion. Each visitor became part of Vietnam's healing. Each story shared, each photo taken, each smile exchanged. A small step toward collective forgiveness. And perhaps that's Vietnam's greatest victory.
Not just the rebuilding of cities or the rise of tourism, but the restoration of trust. Because healing doesn't happen when we forget the past. It happens when we face it together. And in that sense, every traveler who sets foot in Vietnam becomes part of its ongoing story. A story not of war, but of healing, humanity, and hope. The war may have ended 50 years ago, but through the open arms of its people and the footsteps of those who once fought here, Vietnam continues to heal, one journey at a time.